Hello, it's Fallen Yeshua. Welcome again to the Rock. Um, Hope you're having a blessed day. uh, One of my ribs today made a comment about my t-shirt. This t-shirt is maybe 20-ish years old. Yeah, still putting in work. Holes and all. Uh, so, I've been asked a question by several brothers about, well, Fallen Yeshua, I would love to leave the city. I'm not going to be able to, for whatever reason. Is there any advice you could give us? And being that I did live in a city and I was into preparedness and uh, our ancient way of living in the city, yes, there are many things that you can do. Um, as far as a man have a household, right now there's a lot of clothing that's on clearance. If you've got children, this is an ample time to pick up clothing. Because the whole zombie plague and the ships that were out at sea, I was able to get a ton of those jersey sweatshirts, children's size for $1.50. So of course when you have children, you stock up on those things. I was able to get sweatpants, jeans, literally sweatpants, $2 a pair, or $2, for. I don't really like calling it a pair because technically it's not a pair. I mean, it's a pair of legs, but it's not a pair of sweats. $20. I mean, $2 for sweats, $3 and $4 for jeans. I got shorts for them. So it's an ample time to purchase things like that. Obviously, purchase food, get water. But one of the biggest things that I, for myself, came across that annoyed the life out of me when I was living in the city, and especially when I lived in an apartment complex. And since I know a lot of my brothers and sisters live in apartment complexes, I'm speaking to you. One of the things that annoyed me is that I could store up, 75, 80, 90, 100 gallons of drinking water. I could put back, 2, 3, 4 months worth of food. I could get clothing. I can get, preparations. I can get ammo. I can get all those things. And lose it all because some jackass 2 floors down from me and 5 apartments over decided that they wanted to barbecue grill in their house and light the whole apartment complex on fire. So it's a good idea to have food and to have water at your current location. Excellent idea. But one thing that I would do and advocate you doing is find a place off the premises that you could store food and store water and even store, I wouldn't put my, protection pieces in there, but you could put a medical, kit in there, a nice size one. You could put some, some gauze and, your normal things, nothing too extravagant in there. Make sure, like a storage, in the U-Haul storage places. Now make sure, some of them are not, climate controlled. So you may want to, if you're going to put things that require, climate, or things that are metal, you may want to find one that's climate controlled. But find a storage facility and put some things in there. Find a friend's house who lives outside of the area that you are in, or a brother's house, and put some stuff there if he wouldn't mind. Coordinate with him. If you have a detached garage from your unit, that's another place you could store some things. I'm not a big advocate of going out there. Some people talk about these things. I am not a big advocate of going out there, finding some, roadside and digging a hole and burying a cache. I am not. That's not me. I'm just gonna say it that's not me. But it's good. It's a good idea to have some of those things away from your location, especially because what if you have to leave? What if you have to leave your apartment complex because, again, some jackass decided to barbecue in their house and let the whole apartment on fire, the whole complex on fire? It's a good idea to have those things, it wouldn't be nothing to go out there and get, let's say 10 of those 5-gallon clear bottles from Walmart. They're about $11 a piece. Fill them all up, take them to a U-Haul, put them in there. Get some food, get a couple 100 pounds, 3 or 4 months worth of food. Put it in that U-Haul. Now, obviously, you're gonna want to be able to move that stuff, so that's a consideration as well. So that may determine your ability to move it. May determine how much you're actually going to put in there. If you're driving a Honda Accord or a Honda Civic, it may not be a good idea to put in, you know, a year's worth of food into a storage center. But it's a good idea to have something there. It's a good idea to have maybe a month there, to have some water there, to have some clothing there. Um, again, some medical equipment inside of there. Uh, just a good idea. There's many different things you can put inside those units that you may need. Um, so that's a good idea. Obviously, inside your own apartment, you're gonna have your usual things, but now then you're gonna have your food and your water. Again, apartments are, especially if you have a balcony. You can fit a lot in an apartment. I did it. You can use your balcony. Some balconies even have a little storage closet attached to the balcony that you could use. Instead of stuffing it up with junk that you're not going to use, that you may use one day in the near future, why not use that space for stuff that you likely, especially what we're saying, may use? First of all, you can use your balcony to grow food. You can get some rubber. I did this. Rubbermaid totes, get some soil, put the soil in Rubbermaid totes, and grow something. Anything. You could get a 5-gallon bucket or a couple of them, some Rubbermaid totes. Put some soil in there, put some potato slips in there, and grow some potatoes in a 5-gallon bucket. You can do that. You could put 10 buckets on your balcony and grow potatoes in them and have food. You could put some Jerusalem artichokes in there, and as long as it's getting some sunlight, and most balconies today do get some sunlight, you can grow some food. You can grow some green beans in the windowsill. You can grow something. So that's another thing that you can do. Instead of decorating your house with a bunch of shit, why not take some of that extra income and in your closet, in the back of your closet where, the spiders like to like to spin their webs and everything, put some bottled water back there. Underneath your couch, buy some gallon bottles of water and make sure that it's good bottles, quality bottles, because otherwise your bottles will end up falling apart. And put some water underneath your couch. Put some canned goods underneath the couch. Bag up some rice. We had a bar in the apartment. For those of you who saw the bucket opening of the food from 2010, we had a bar at one of our apartments, and the overhang of the bar was just enough room for me to slide slide 2 buckets, top to bottom, one on top, one on bottom, and about 6 or 7 long. So instead of putting bar stools underneath it, we put buckets underneath it and then hung a curtain over it so that you couldn't see it, and was able to put, I think it was down there 12 to 14 buckets of food. Maybe it was only 12 buckets of food underneath our bar. You can do things like that. I don't have people, nor ever have had people running in and out of my house anyways. And when people came to visit, they didn't really take notice of the fact that there was a curtain there. And there was food underneath that curtain. But there's ways you can store food everywhere. You can get one of those sliding underneath the bed Rubbermaid totes and put some bagged rice in there. Put some lentils in there. Put some peas in there. Put some, green peas or split peas in there. You could put some food away. And you'd be surprised at how much food you can get into an 800, 750 square foot apartment. We did it. There's a lot of mosquitoes out here right now, so I'm doing what I'm doing. But there's opportunities are there. Buy some of those things. But also another thing is, keep some stuff in your car. Keep, if you have a vehicle, you have a trunk, keep a gallon or 2 of water in your car. Keep, 80 pack of granola bars in your car, in your trunk. Keep a first aid kit in your car. Keep some things keep a change of clothes in your car. A good pair of walking shoes. Some clean socks. A pair of pants. For each member of your family, keep that in the car. Put it in a little backpack and slide that thing in your car and leave it there. And as your children grow, swap things out, because you never know when you're going to need them. I mean, sometimes I've spent the nights at friends' houses, and what do you know? Inside of my vehicle, I have a toothbrush, toothpaste, soap, water, granola bars, some pants, a couple t-shirts, socks, underwear, If you have medications, if you know an asthma inhaler, uh, 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 some medicine, whatever it is that you may need, you have it right there with you. That's another thing. If you're going to keep things like if you're going to keep something in a storage uh, 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 facility, why not put it in? If you have asthma, put an inhaler in there. Get some Primatene mist and put that shit in there. Have those things that you're going to need. Put some clothes in there that you can actually wear. I know a guy who actually got a U-Haul trailer, or got a U-Haul storage, and got a trailer and loaded a little. I think it was a regular flatbed trailer. Well, not flatbed, but the walls are probably 3 feet tall. And he actually put his provisions in that trailer and got a tow hitch for his vehicle. I think he had like what do you call those things? The old cop cars, like Impala. He had an Impala and put a hitch on it, and said, "Hey, if push comes to shove, I'm gonna drive in there, attach that thing to my Impala, and I'm towing that thing out, and we're just leaving." If you have a storage, put a tent in there. If anything, it's a temporary, place to, if you go out there, you lay your head. But there are many, many ideas. Just because you live in a city does not mean it's hopeless. But you just have to understand the likelihood of you staying where you are in the city is not very good. The need to relocate is probably going to be a lot. I would say many, 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 many times greater in the city than it would be out here. But there are still things that you can do. Don't just sit back and say, "Well, it's hopeless. I'm not going to do anything because I'm not in a place right now where I could just leave, my apartment and move out to the woods and buy a property." That doesn't mean don't do anything. In fact, do something while you can now. And don't wait to do something until you get out here. Start doing it now. Because, hey, y'all willing, if something did go on, maybe you're in contact with a brother or a sister. Well, a brother. And you have already set up where if something goes bad, is it okay if I come to your property? I don't mind coming to your property and doing whatever I need to do that you would have me to do in your property. But at least you have that. Some things to think about. Don't just write yourself off because you're in the city. There are many, many, many things that you can do. Bless y'all. Hope you're having a blessed second day. It's second day, right? Second day. Just some ideas. I'll do a couple more videos like this, more in-depth ones a little bit later. I just wanted to touch on this right now. All right. Shalom.